Do you want more support with this? That's right, I reckon I'm going to have our heavy object here.
We didn't be on video.
Might have to go a day.
Mortimer!
Anyone who's on the ground.
Put into the van! This is my second warning! I'm not doing anything! If you continue to yell and obstruct us, I will arrest you for public nuisance. Do you understand? Do you understand what I just said? Do you understand?
This truck is delivering tomorrow's newspapers. It's delivering the Courier Mail. It's delivering the Australian. These papers are sending climate denying pieces, and we're calling bullshit on that. We're here at News Corp. This is the printing press outside of Brisbane. This is the land of the Turrbal and the Yuggera people. This land has never been ceded. I've got Lee, and Lee is locked onto the gate. How you going, Lee? Happy? Yeah. All right, Lee's locked on. This is the entrance to the printing press. This is another entrance. We've got Renee. Renee is also locked on to that gate, so that gate cannot be opened. Are you happy, Renee? Okay, awesome. Still outside News Corp. This is Extinction Rebellion. 2 people up here on top of a truck. This truck's exiting the printing press. There you go. Have you read the lies today? Hopefully you haven't read them tomorrow because we've blockaded the distribution centre. Renee's chained to the fence here. Got some other friendly climate activists. We're all non-violent here. We've got Lee over here. Lee is also chained on. Hey, free the press to tell the truth. Oh yeah, I don't know who did this.
No idea.
But there's obviously a lot of people who are calling bullshit on News Corp. There's an ecological crisis going on. Species are going extinct. Soon we're going to see our crops dying. It's going to be hard to feed people. Major weather events, more fires in Australia, more smoke in the air killing people. It's going to be hard to feed people. It's going to be hard to house people. And as long as News Corp's publishing lies about the climate crisis, the public aren't going to know to stand up to the government. So this is police liaison getting arrested.
Okay, just keep your distance. Don't mind you filming. Just keep your distance from these officers.
No worries. What's the reason?
Been asked to leave. Get off the footpath.
Oh, I have not been asked to leave.
We're asking you to leave off the footpath.
Is that an official direction?
Property, please.
Yes, it will be.
Leave the property, you'll be arrested.
I'm just going to go over here and continue to film.
Just leave or you'll be arrested.
Is that an
You're under
official
arrest for
direction?
trespass. This is a private property. All we have to tell you to do is leave it.
You're under arrest.
Alright.
Put your phone down on the bottom of the car. Girl, come over here, just put it over there.
Okay, I have been arrested!
Yeah, can you put it down here?
I don't know what for! Alright, this is Extinction Rebellion. We're here at News Corp's printing press. We're outside of Brisbane at the moment. We are blockading this printing press. Over here we've got some people locking on to the gates. And over here, we've got two people on top of a vehicle. This truck is taking delivering tomorrow's newspapers. It's delivering the Courier Mail. It's delivering the Australian. These papers are sending climate denying pieces, and we're calling bullshit on that. I'm just going to stand in front of this car. This guy is driving while two people are standing on top of his car. So we're here at News Corp. This is the printing press outside of Brisbane. This is the land of the Turrbal and the Yuggera people. This land has never been ceded. And this is News Corp, who print the Courier Mail and the Australian here, among other newspapers. Those newspapers spread racism, they spread lies about the climate crisis, they spread misinformation. We're here blocking tomorrow's papers.
Stop it, mate. Give it up.
It's okay.
Stop.
Hey, put your mask on. Put your mask on. It's okay. Calm down.
No.
It's fine.
Get the fuck off the truck.
Can we glue this? Do we have the glue? Let's do it. Come on. We're okay.
Look at these fucking... Oh, bullshit. Oh.
Hey mate, you're still getting paid. It's all these fucking that great protesting guys.
Yeah, there is a peaceful protest.
Yeah, that's a fridge in front of that truck. Hopefully that might convince him to stop driving. Alright, I'm quickly gonna show you what's happening on the other side. So we are at News Corp's printing press just outside Brisbane, Meanjin. I've just shown you two people standing on top of a truck. That truck's about to deliver some newspapers, some climate denying newspapers out to Brisbane and the rest of Queensland tomorrow morning. Here I've got Lee, and Lee is locked onto the gate. How you going, Lee? Happy? Yeah. Alright, Lee's locked on. This is the entrance to the printing press. This is another entrance. We've got Renee. Renee is also locked on to that gate, so that gate cannot be opened. Are you happy, Renee? Okay, awesome. I'm gonna come back to the truck, yep. So this guy is not happy. Right, this is Extinction Rebellion. We're outside News Corp, the printing press just outside Brisbane. 2 people on top of a truck here. The driver of the truck has exited the car.
What the fucking do? Where's the fucking car now? Get the fuck out of the way! Fuck, save it!
Could you please tell him to stop? This is like really frustrating. This is not his job. This is him being a student. Hey, what are you doing now?
Alright, he's been taken away by a co-worker.
Okay, no, hang on, let's go back there.
We're just gonna be up here for a while. Yeah, but can you hop off the truck?
2 people still in the truck. They're not leaving. They're going to continue to block the papers from leaving News Corp today.
Fuck, you're lucky I got told to stand down. I'm sorry.
This car can go whenever he's ready, I reckon.
Look, let's relax.
No, let's
Don't
not.
hold back
Let's
here,
not.
man.
How about fuck off?
Are you supposed to have that chain?
Fucking worried about paying.
Okay. Alright. Still outside News Corp. This is Extinction Rebellion. 2 people up here on top of a truck. This truck's exiting the printing press to deliver. Oh, here we go. Coppers have just rocked up. That's the first police vehicle we've seen. So we got, yeah, that was a fridge we left in front of the truck to help stop the vehicle from moving and hurting people, but obviously this driver didn't like that tactic. Police here, hopefully that makes that guy a bit more. 2 people up here. Happy?
I am fucking it. Fuck off.
Okay. So, 2 people up here. We got coppers at the entrance. We're just outside Brisbane at the printing press. And then over here, we've got 2 more people chained to the other gates. So, if you didn't know, News Corp has a media monopoly in Australia. In Queensland, they've got a monopoly over print news media, which is why we're blockading them today, because we call bullshit on that. There you go. Have you read the lies today? Hopefully you haven't read them tomorrow, because we've blockaded the distribution centre. Oh, someone's telling me. Okay, my phone sideways. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Is that better? I thought Facebook would just figure that out for me. Oh no, I'm so sorry.
You want to keep it? Or do you want me to grab it? And up to you. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. Or I can keep it. Actually, with the lights, it might be good.
Alright, here we've got Renee, who is chained to this fence. Thanks, guys. I'm so sorry about that. That's so embarrassing. Okay, Renee's chained to the fence here. Got some other friendly climate activists. We're all non-violent here. We've got Lee over here. Lee is also chained on. Yes. Alright, so we got gate 1 at the printing press, gate 2, and gate 3 over here where 2 people are on the truck, and still 1 police vehicle. So the reason we're here non-violently disrupting the paper distribution today is because of the... Hello?
Goes on the internet.
Cool. Hey, free the press to tell the truth. All right. So yeah, if you didn't know, Murdoch Press or News Corp, who does the Courier Mail here in Queensland, the Australian, they've got a bit of a media monopoly going on, and we're not so happy about that because it's anti-democratic. They love to spread climate denial. In the bushfires at the start of this year, News Corp ran a coordinated campaign to spread disinformation about the fires. News Corp said the fires were started by arson. Not true. News Corp said the fires came about because of environmental mismanagement. Not true. Those fires were fueled by the climate crisis.
And they're just wondering again if you want to come down or if you want to stay up there.
Feel safe up here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just reiterate that we feel like gonna bash us if we go down.
Okay.
We're not coming down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things are calm down here on the floor now, though. So I hope you guys are feeling safe up there.
Well, he
The
was
banner.
driving while we were up there. So.
I know that was very unsafe. Yeah, but things are a lot calmer now. The banner looks great. Keep up, guys. So.
Yep, so they were just going back over how when they climbed back up on the truck, the truck driver continued to drive. He got out of the car, caused a fuss. He's gone now. Back on gate 1 and 2. Still locked on, still fighting against this media monopoly that's spreads climate lies. This media monopoly that allows the federal government to get away with no climate action. It allows polluting industries to get away with denying the climate crisis. The fossil fuel industry, the animal agriculture industry, they all benefit from News Corp spreading disinformation about the climate crisis. It's pretty chill here now. So before, when we rocked up, workers weren't so happy. But now that it's calmed down a bit, everyone understands what's going on. It's quite a good vibe. Happy to be here, standing up for the truth. Here's the police talking to these guys.
This stage of placing both under arrest. Okay, do you understand that? And I'm requiring you to step down off the truck. If you don't, you'll be obstructing the police.
Can you just stand back, obviously?
Because you're committing offence, I'm just going to require you to state your full and correct name and your address. So both of you, I'll get you on the right there.
I'll move away while they give some details to police. If you didn't hear, the police just said he's placing them under arrest, which might be difficult as they are standing on top of a giant truck. We'll see how that goes. Alright, yeah, that's us, Extinction Rebellion. We've done this once before, actually, if you didn't know. At the start of the year, we rocked up and did this before.
Yes,
we rocked up and we popped some.
Seems very familiar.
We popped some barrels up here in front of the gates.
More artistry around though.
Yeah,
Have
but
you noticed? Have you seen this?
oh yeah, I don't know who did this,
No idea.
but there's obviously a lot of people who are calling bullshit on News Corp. If you're tuning in now, that's where we are. We're outside the News Corp printing press, the distribution centre. The papers go out in these big trucks during the night and then they get delivered for the next morning. So if all goes well, Friday's paper will be non-existent and we might actually go a day without climate denialism. Wouldn't that be nice? Like I said, this is the second time we've done this, so we're not giving up. Last time we stopped papers for a day, but it's not really good enough when we've got climate catastrophe on our doorstep. We're headed towards absolute climate destruction. There's an ecological crisis going on. Species are going extinct. Soon we're going to see our crops dying. It's going to be hard to feed people. Major weather events, more fires in Australia, more smoke in the air killing people. It's going to be hard to feed people. It's going to be hard to house people. And as long as News Corp's, publishing lies about the climate crisis, the public aren't going to know to stand up to the government. They're not going to know to stand up to these polluting industries. Good? Yeah.
Just interrupting people trying to do their fucking job, mate.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to come talk to some of these lovely people that have chained themselves to the gate, so that's going to stop the trucks from coming in. There's a lot of trucks that come in and out of this distribution centre every night. Oh, I hear some yelling. Oh, there's some move on orders. Okay, I'm gonna figure out what's happening. My concern is if they're moving on people over there, I might have to stay over here to avoid that. Oh, okay, there you go. They're arresting the police liaison. That's lovely. Okay, so if you don't know, the police liaison's the person who is supposed to keep things calm with the police and explain why we're here and make sure no one gets hurt. But of course, that's who they've arrested first. Because why would think they want things to go smoothly? So this is police liaison getting arrested.
Just keep your distance. Don't mind you filming. Just keep your distance from these officers.
No worries. What's the reason?
Been asked to leave. Get off the
Oh, I have not been asked to leave.
We're asking you off the
Is that an official direction?
property, please.
Yes, it will be.
Leave the property, you'll be arrested.
I'm just going to go over here and continue to film.
Just leave or you'll be arrested.
Is that an
You're under
official
arrest for
direction?
trespass. This is a private property. All I have to tell you to do is leave it.
You're under arrest.
Alright.
Put your phone down on the bottom of the car. You'll come over here, just put it over there.
Okay, I have been arrested!
Yeah, can you put it down here?
I don't know what for!
Oh, the cops are holding the camera.
Alright, we're live again. They have got one gate open, gate 1. However, we have immobilized them. We have severely impacted them with our 2 rebels on top of this truck, holding up the sign, holding up the fort. Maybe not so many lies will get spread today. Okay.
I'm gonna go. Because I need to get the car out of here.
That's yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
You okay to stay? I
Yeah.
might try and come back.
Yeah. Yeah. So for everyone who's just tuned in, we're at the Brisbane News Corp distribution centre, where some XR rebels have decided to take action against the Murdoch press because they're simply sick of hearing and seeing bullshit and lies spread across the nation, spread across the country on a continuous basis through all the newspapers and all the TV channels. And this doesn't just end in Australia. Murdoch decided to spread his propaganda bullshit throughout the world, in Europe, in Asia, in America. 1 in 2 Australians reads this shit every day. And they don't talk about the climate, they don't acknowledge climate crisis, they don't acknowledge the issues that we're facing and the small amount of time that we have left to reach net emissions. One of our rebels is getting arrested now because he has decided to take direct action and chain himself to one of the gates in order to block the distribution for tonight. We've got some good messaging here today. Tell the truth, stop the lies, free the press, while also campaigning for a citizens' assembly so that people can make decisions on their future about the climate and try and reach net zero by 2025. Because without this, Without a citizens' assembly, the government's not going to take action, and it's not going to recognise the climate crisis, and we're not going to be able to guarantee a safe future for future generations and for us. This is not just media. This is not just news that comes out of News Corp or the Murdoch press. It's not just information. It's heavily invested propaganda, a propaganda tool from the Liberal Party and other political parties. Tell the truth. Stop the lies. We've got 2 gates open now, but big trucks won't be able to leave because we've blocked the main gate, the main distribution gate, gate 3, by getting rebels to jump on top. And they're loud and proud, and they're doing it because they're sick of this shit, and so should you be. So should everyone here be sick of this, because it affects us all, and we're all on this planet together. No one's chained to the fence anymore, no one's chained to the gates. They've got the cut team. We've just got this last... They've got police on top of the van now, on top of the truck. And one of the rebels has glued himself onto the... He's trying to rip him off. He's glued on! He's glued on! You have a duty of care!
You're fucking breaking your own code.
You have a duty of care!
Have laws,
You have a duty of care! He's glued on!
You want to be in the civil court? I don't think so. Let them go.
They're trying to rip him off. You're on camera, the whole world's watching, mate! Mate, you've been asked to look after your future and your children. You're not doing anything about it, are you? Your child's going to grow up in this world where there's nothing left if you don't start acting. You need to get a cherry picker in if you need to remove him. Hold your camera straight, sorry. So the rebel is on the right there, sitting down. I'll try and get a better angle. anyone who's on the grass will be arrested, apparently. We've got workers leaving as well because they don't want to be arrested. Oh, no, here we go. The cops counting down. So the rebel is on the top there, sitting down. You can see his red flashlight. They're trying to arrest the only other rebel on site that's not doing direct action because they are liaising with the police and they're supporting the rebel that's locked on, glued onto the roof. And the police have pretty much arrested anyone else who's been on site, so it's not really providing any safety for the people that have made these decisions. There's one. Now they're arresting other people just because they just like to have a fill the watch house up tonight. Hey. I'm just going to pause this for 1 minute. Alright, I'm here at the Brisbane News Corp distribution centre. There's been some people locked on in front of the gates.
Be really careful, they'll get you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We drew a line in and then they're just using people.
We're stopping the distribution of these newspapers because News Corp is not just a media outlet. They're a propaganda arm for the right-wing Liberal Party and Liberal politics, and they do not acknowledge the climate crisis that we're in, and they deny the climate crisis, and they do not tell the truth on the issues that we need to deal with at this day and age. We've got people locked on to all three gates, and we're shutting this distribution centre down for the night because we do not want the Murdoch press to keep distributing bullshit and lies. There's cops here now, and they've arrested the police liaison, and they've arrested the other live streamer, and there's still people here, and they're unlawfully arresting people. We're not sure if these charges are going to hold because last time they tried to arrest people, the landowner came down and said that they did not want this to happen, and they let everyone go. There's police here coming up. There's a truck. Oh, sorry. I've been told to leave the property. There's lots of rebels getting arrested. There's still lots of rebels here. It's a little bit hard to see. We've got one gate just over here where there's some heavy objects locked to the gate in order to not let it open. We've got one rebel here, Renee, who's chained himself to the gate and not allowing any trucks to come in. And then on gate 3, we've got some fantastic rebels on top of this distribution truck that are holding up the signs, and it says free the press, tell the truth. It's a little bit blurry, you can't read, I'm a little bit far away. But so far, we have stopped this distribution for not long, but we're hoping to not be able to spread these lies for one day, because I think 1 in 2 people in Australia regularly or only read from the Murdoch press, and it's just appalling because we need to deal with these issues on the climate, and we need to deal with them right now because we don't have much time left and we can't keep spreading this bullshit. Climate denial, which is exactly what's happened over the history of this Murdoch empire. He's got 50,000 employers or something across the world in every single great continent or big empire country. He's got his fingers in the pies and he's spreading whatever he wants to spread. And right now, we have had enough and we don't want to fucking see this shit anymore. So I've got one rebel over here getting arrested. I'm not sure what she's done wrong, or they. They've got chains around their ankles. And lots of cops on site. Let's zoom out a bit. Is it good to live stream like that or like that? Should I go landscape?
Pardon? No, because nobody's screen goes that way. So you got to keep it this way, otherwise people have to rotate their monitor.
Do you want to say something? So for people just watching, we're outside the Brisbane distribution centre. And we've just blocked the distribution centre from distributing this Murdoch press to the Brisbane area for as long as we can tonight. The police have rocked up. They're not being reasonable at all. They've arrested, I'm not sure, maybe 3 or 4 people now without proper reasoning. We've gotten move-on orders and been arrested without having caused anxiety or specific reasons from any of the landowners here. They're not giving their name and badge number, so they're not following protocol. They don't seem very, very pleased with us here, which is probably pretty good. And we're going to stay here as long as we can. And so these guys, these 2 rebels on this truck, have managed to stop the truck right in the driveway and hold up a banner. So we're going to have to stay for a while until we get the means to either change the press or they find a way to get. So the banner says, "Free the press, tell the truth," and they're standing loud and proud for what they believe in, which is not telling lies. And
someone have a key to the chain that the person...
No.
No key? Alright.
I'm sure the police liaison possibly would have known, but you did arrest them.
how come you arrested the police liaison? Can I get your name and badge number, please? So this is the current situation. They've arrested the police liaison, which is something that they seem to keep doing in these circumstances, which doesn't really help the police or anything on site, because that's our one means of communicating with the rebels who have decided to take direct action and try and stop some of these lies getting spread.
We didn't get the key.
They do like to arrest the police liaison because they think that this is some sort of power structure, and yeah, quit the bullshit, exactly. They're the comments that we think are appropriate. Because News Corp does not acknowledge the current state of the world and ignores the science behind climate change and ignores all the information and the disasters that we see in the world, because they're invested in liberal politics and lies. We've got one rebel being arrested here. I'm not sure they'll tell me what she's done. We've got 4 cops on this rebel. I can see one person inside as well. And we've still got all the gates shut. Nothing's being left. No papers are leaving tonight. And we don't want to do this. We're not here to disrupt business or get police on site. We're here because we find it unfair and threatening that this type of media is spread throughout the country and so many people read it and don't know what's going on because it's bullshit and it's lies, and we've had enough. So we've decided to take direct action by closing these gates and this distribution centre for one night. And we're going to keep doing this until the government and the parties involved recognise the climate crisis and tell the truth. Tell the truth about what's happening with the world, tell the truth about the issues we're facing, and tell the truth about how we're facing an ecological collapse and we need to act now. And we want the government to act, and if the government doesn't act, we're going to keep coming back. And we want the government to acknowledge the Citizens' Assembly so that the people can make decisions on their future and the climate without invested interests. And people who are working here, we're all in this boat together. And we're all here because the future is our future, and we want to live in a future where the climate is livable and where it's and will be livable for future generations. And the way this is going, we don't have that possibility. So I've got some workers yelling at our rebels up the top, because I'm not sure if they've realised that the planet they live on is also the planet that's getting destroyed by their own employer. We're asking for a Citizens' Assembly to make decisions on the climate crisis, to reach net zero by 2025. And until we get that, until the government starts taking direct consideration and action on the climate issues, we're going to be here campaigning, not just here, but this is a major part of where the news source comes from, where all this bullshit propaganda is distributed through Australia, and we're gonna be here and take direct action until the climate crisis is acknowledged and embedded in every single decision making process and action that the government does. We need the newspapers to show what targets we've reached, on what track we are to reaching our net zero emissions. We don't need to know about GDP and about how we compare to other countries with GDP. We can be proud as a nation to reach our emissions, and they're the goals we want to hear on the radio every morning. That's the news that we need to hear about. People are getting cut off the gates now. There's some heavy appliances chained to this gate 1 that we can see, blocking the gate from opening. So I guess the message behind these appliances is to stop spreading trash, stop spreading bullshit. It's a little bit difficult to see. We've got one rebel still on gate 2. He's just there. Right there, standing patiently. Standing for what he believes in. And these issues affect us all, everyone. We're not here for selfless acts or self-fulfilling acts. We're here because we've realized, we listen to the science, and we can see that this is not the way to go forward, and these invested interests do not benefit anyone's future apart from billionaires and politicians who are not looking for a future, a safe future that respects all of the people. This banner says, "Free the press, tell the truth." Got 2 rebels on top of this truck here. I've been told to get off the grass. So they've gotten one rebel getting arrested. Got one. So they jumped on top of the truck and ripped Fletcher's hand off, and I was standing here yelling out to them because they wouldn't let anyone else near the truck. They arrested everyone else who walked up near the truck. So as I was standing here, I was yelling out that it's not safe and that they have a duty of care, and then I got told that if I keep yelling I'll be arrested for public nuisance. after 3 warnings. I decided to stop yelling. So it seems pretty quiet now.
Can you just tell me a little bit why you do these sort of things?
Yeah, I'm doing this because I'm super motivated for survival, for our society to keep on thriving. We need to be able to mitigate the damage of the climate crisis that's happening at the moment. And in order to do that, first of all, we need publishers such as News Corp to disseminate the scientific truth, and currently that's not happening. At the moment, News Corp and other companies like News Corp are basically a propaganda machine to help prop up sort of elite who are building bunkers, and they haven't got the interests of most people at heart. So basically the media like this, News Corp, they use racism to divide everyone. There's all sorts of disinformation, misinformation that happens that I've observed up close now that I'm doing this activist work. They have all sorts of accidental slip-ups with misspellings and like omissions, like omitting the word non from the phrase non-violent to make us look violent and stuff like that. They do that all the time, and then you can't really complain. You can complain as much as you want, but damage is already done.
Yeah.
And that whole system of complaining and reparation doesn't really function properly. So we need an actual media that is understands the problem and is communicating the urgency of the crisis, and is not denying science, because people need to understand what's going on so that we can prepare for it, so that we can survive. So
awesome.
I think it's time the press actually told the truth about climate damage, and we're currently scheduled to go to 3% or to 4%, 4 degrees global warming, and we've got to keep under 2 degrees. And when we look at News Corp media, what we see is climate denial. We see people who are ridiculed and vilified for standing up for young people's future, and it's time that the media looked, particularly News Corp, really looked at running articles on what the future could be, or what we can do about it to make sure that we don't destroy this planet for all beings.